We are now several months into the COVID-19 pandemic, and its effects on education are becoming increasingly apparent. It was reported that 2 decades of educational progress were wiped away in a matter of months, leaving most students academically behind where they were prior to the pandemic. In a desperate effort to stem the tide of learning loss, billions of dollars in federal aid have been set aside to help get our children back on track. Unfortunately, the race to make up for educational losses due to the pandemic is facing a hard deadline. Schools and school districts have been allocated only a certain amount of elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds, and all of it needs to be allocated or used by September 2024 or risk being lost for good. It's intimidating to think about just how much time and money will be necessary to get our students back on track. Bruce Baker, professor at University of Miami, raised particular concern about the amount of assistance needed to ensure students of all backgrounds have the ability to keep up with the rest of their peers. His thoughts were echoed by a January 2023 report by McKinsey & Co., which said some students will take a much longer period of time to reach the same level of learning they had before the pandemic. Ray Sanchez, superintendent of the Ossining Union Free School District in New York, also emphasized upon this fact. The report also uncovered data that showed the schools that were already struggling the most with educational progress were hit the hardest. The McKinsey report was eye-opening in this regard, showcasing how important long-term sustainability solutions would be needed to truly make meaningful progress in the educational sphere. Jen Mendelsohn, co-founder of Braintrust Tutors, added an additional point of view by highlighting the complex bureaucracy that often stands in the way of progress, noting, "For better or worse, COVID created a perfect storm that needed immediate reaction." Schools understand the sense of urgency from a learning gap perspective, but that doesn't mean they are able to implement a program very quickly, and that is a challenge. The bureaucracy is real. Pointing out that there is no one-size-fits-all solution, Kusum Sina, the superintendent of Garden City Public Schools in New York, said, "Each district is so different. Garden City Public Schools have implemented a plan of their own which focuses on providing a variety of educational support and extended learning options to their students, such as hiring additional staff, adding tutoring in math and reading, and creating both in-person and online summer programs with the help of federal funds." The discussion also shifted to the effectiveness of tutoring services and how they can impact the future of our students. Studies have shown that tutoring is indeed one of the most promising methods for accelerating learning. Despite this fact, there are still concerns that opt-in resources can actually increase educational inequality, as disadvantaged students are far less likely to take advantage of such options. Finally, Eric Hanishek from Stanford University's Hoover Institution warned of economic repercussions of this learning loss. He said that not only will students face lower lifetime incomes since their skills will be stagnated, but states will face serious economic challenges due to a lower skilled future workforce. In conclusion, it is clear that the educational losses due to the pandemic will have serious ramifications for both individual students and our economy as a whole. It is therefore essential that we find sustainable ways to empower our students, particularly those who were disadvantaged prior to the crisis, as they deserve the same opportunities to maximize their potential as the rest of their classmates. Only through collaborative efforts can we truly work towards putting our students back on track and ensure a brighter future for all involved.